Thank you for watching our channel and our course. We are providing services for proofreading, article formatting and citation management. And there are much more about the services. For more information, you may contact us on the provided contact details. Thank you. Hello, welcome to the ninth lecture of academic writing. I hope you are enjoying this course and you have learned a lot of things about academic writing. Now, today we are going to discuss the punctuation marks in the proofreading steps. How can you correct those marks? First of all, you should know that what are the punctuation marks. The most common punctuation marks are very easy to use. They include full stop that indicates the end of the sentence, question marks and basically indicates the question, exclamation mark used to add emphasis to the sentence or to the statement, and capital letters for proper nouns, nationalities, language, days of the weeks, month, public holidays, geographical location, and so on. They can be used in the punctuation marks. Marks often used improperly, and mostly people do mistakes in these punctuation marks like comma, semicolon, colon, hyphen, apostrophe, and quotation marks or inverted commas. And today we are going to discuss each of them individually. Let's start from the comma. Basically signals a brief pause and are used to separate items in a list. To separate item in the list, first use of the comma. The second thing, after certain adverbs like however, certainly. The third use is to mark non-resistive clauses and to separate main clauses from the subordinate clause. To avoid confusion or ambiguity, the commas are added. For example, I love my parents, Whitney Hudson and Michael Jackson. You can see to separate two items. Use however at the beginning of the sentence without a comma. It means in whatever way. Comma can make the different meaning of these adverbs. So you should know that what thing you want to say in your sentence. To mark non-resistive clauses, all the students who attended most lectures passed the exams. For example, if I remove this comma, all the students who attended most lectures passed the exam. So their meanings would be changed. The next thing is before being anodized in 180 enriched water, which is the subordinate clause, the tantalum discs were etched in bath of 20% citric acid solution. It is the main clause. So they are separated by the comma. Where you can't use the comma, after the conjunction, mostly do not use comma, but you need to follow the American and English guide for that. Between subject and verb or verb and object, to separate subordinate clause that follows a main clause, you can see that in previous slide, we see that the main clause is separated by the subordinate clause. For example, if the main clause comes first and then the subordinate clause follows the main clause, we do not add the comma. Like our results, on the contrary, were more accurate but less precise. This is the previous example, tantalum disc. Now I have placed the main clause at first and the subordinate clause is following the main clause, so I did not add the comma in that. The next thing is colon, basically used to introduce or announces examples, explanations, lists, direct quotations. Often use a semicolon, which is not correct in these scenarios. Hyphen, basically used to mark a relationship between two words and avoid potential ambiguity. And it also used to avoid unusual vowel combinations and to link together nouns used as adjectives. Old time machine or old time machine. You can see that refer to the time machine that is not new or to a machine from old times. So if you add the hyphen in the wrong place, it will totally change the meanings of the sentence. De-ice or re-examine, you can see two vowels are coming together. And this is a gamma ray detector with hyphen, but this is a gamma ray without hyphen. You can say that this is the machine and this is the ray. So you can see that these two things are giving two different meanings. The next thing is apostrophe. indicate omission or contraction, indicate possession, also abbreviations, and it should be avoided to use for contraction and to spell out full words instead. Mostly in plurals, acronyms, or with personal possessive adjective and pronouns it is used. The contractions, for example, cannot is contracted with this apostrophe and T. And this is the examples of some apostrophe used and their contractions. If, for example, if you are using in possession or if you are using the apostrophe in abbreviation, keep these things in mind. For example, if you are writing a formal article, you should avoid the apostrophe and you should write the full form. Do not confuse with the homophones whose and whose. You can see that their pronunciation is same but their spelling and meanings are different. The next thing is semicolon, basically used to separate items in the list and to separate two closely related independent clauses, and that's absolutely fine. Thanks for the holding email. This is the example. Way of avoiding the comma splice. You can see that here the comma in the previous example is the wrongly placed, and this is the example of comma splice. Mark two clauses into separate sentences. Use a conjunction such as and or but. Use a semicolon instead of comma. Use colon. That's absolutely fine. You can see comma is not the right punctuation for that. You should add full stop and mark them two separate sentences. Thanks for the holding email, like this. That's absolutely fine, and thanks for the holding email. You can see that here you can also present the same sentence with the conjunction, and that's absolutely fine. Thanks for the holding email. Colon, semicolon. The next thing is quotation marks or inverted commas. Basically, single quotation marks are used to show quotations from other writers, and it also used to emphasize a word or phrase and to show the direct speech. And double quotation marks are used to show quotation inside quotations. And I will emphasize here that you should follow the British and American English guide because there are a little bit difference, and I have discussed in my previous lecture. If you did not take my previous lecture, please go to the previous videos or previous lectures and take this lecture. It will help you to understand what are the differences between the British and American English and follow those guides. I hope you understand this lecture and you understand the proper use of punctuation. Please rate this course and give your valuable feedback.